We are
the Network Blender.
Welcome to the Network Blender. We have another exciting episode for you this month of May. Our episode, Peptides Uncovered, the science behind the glow. So we have an exciting guest with us today. Amy Davis from Vixen Wellness and Med Spa will be here. And we have different segments about politics, local community events, everything going on with the network mixer that's coming up at the end of the month. So stay tuned. We have a lot of things to go over. This, the Network Blender, your front row seat to the people and stories that are shaping Rockwall County.
Hi, I'm Scott Dodson, and this is The Spin Cycle. Today's topic is political discord and how to have a discussion resorting to social media vitriol to get your point across. I think in today's digital age, we've all seen people take to social media and hide behind anonymous platforms to spread rumors, innuendos, and attack people that are running for office or holding local political offices as well. I know that there's an element of the First Amendment, but as adults, we should hold ourselves to a higher standard and a higher level of accountability regarding how we treat each other and other people. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ said to love one another and do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. And this golden rule, I think, really applies no matter whether you agree with someone and their point of view or if you support another candidate. The reality is that in most elected political positions, these positions take time away from their families, their friends, and usually involve making decisions where some citizens are not happy with the outcome. But these individuals have to drive and do drive to serve, and therefore they do. We should all seek understanding before trying to be understood. And there are always different perspectives in every situation, and we don't all have to agree to get along. I think Ronald Reagan said it best when he said that just because I agree with you 80% of the time doesn't make you 20% my enemy. And this was proven famously, and he and the Democratic Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill, had many battles. But instead of staying in those battles, they chose to find common ground. So the next time you take to the internet, intent to tear somebody down or tear them apart, consider that these individuals are your neighbors, they're volunteers, they're members of your church, and they're public servants who are doing the best that they can. It can be an ugly world out there, and you have the ability to make a positive impact. Love one another, and let's choose harmony over conflict. I'm your host, Scott Dodson, and this is The Spin Cycle.
Hi, I'm Kim Johnson with The Local Blend. Let's take a quick look at what's happening right now in the Rockwall County real estate market and what it means for you. First, the big picture. The market has shifted. We are no longer in the ultra competitive frenzy we saw a couple of years ago. Right now, Rockwall County is sitting in a more balanced, slightly buyer-friendly market. Home prices are holding relatively steady, with the county median around the low 400s in the city of Rockwall. Homes are taking longer to sell, averaging over 100 days on the market. And what does that mean? Buyers finally have more options and more negotiating power. We are seeing deals again, things like seller concessions, repairs, even rate buy downs. And for sellers, it means pricing your home correctly is more important than ever. The homes are updated and well priced. Well, those are still moving. So now let's talk timing, because this is huge. Rockwall ISD wraps up the school year on May the 21st, and that officially kicks off the busiest real estate season of the year. Families are preparing to move, and summer demand is about to surge. And it's not just about homes, it's about lifestyle. Summer in Rockwall is something special. Concerts by the Lake kicks off on May the 7th and runs every Thursday through July from 7 to 9 p.m. in the harbor. The Rockwall Farmers Market opens May the 2nd and runs every Saturday morning in downtown. And don't miss the Founders Day Festival happening May the 16th through the 18th at Harry Myers Park in downtown Rockwall. On May the 23rd from 1 to 5 p.m., Fate Station is hosting their artisan and farmers market. It's called Go Texas Day. This is when community really comes alive. So whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on the market, this is the key season to watch. The bottom line, more opportunity for buyers, more strategy for sellers, and one of the best times of the year to enjoy everything Rockwall has to offer. Stay tuned. I am Kim Johnson with The Local Blend.
Thank you, Amy, for joining us today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
We have a few questions for you. First one is...
I'm scared.
What inspired you in getting into the aesthetics and cosmetic treatments?
Oh, we're getting life crazy here. Okay, that's a question. Great question. God, has a plan for all of us. I originally thought that I was going to be a chief nursing officer at a hospital one day, but he had different plans for me. Two people that I feel like really kind of inspired me kind of in this, and I didn't realize that God had kind of put these things in my life, kind of throughout my life, kind of tools in my toolbox. But one of them is my best friend, actually both my best friends. The first one is Meredith, and she died of melanoma at the age of 35. So I feel like she's a big part of my why. Having your best friend die of a cancer that's not all understood is tough. So she's a big part of my why. She's a big part of sunscreen in my life and why I do a lot of aesthetics. But also my other best friend, Gracie, she has her med spa in Round Rock, Ginger Ale Med Spa. And she's been begging me for years to help her. And I would help her out. And so she kind of introduced me to that. But along my career, I also worked for a group of plastic surgeons and didn't realize how much I loved it. And, again, God puts certain people in your life and different experiences in your life. And I feel like that all kind of culminated together to kind of bring me where I am today. And I want to help people. I want to help people look better, feel better. And some of the way we outwardly feel about ourselves is really how we feel inward about ourselves. And so, sometimes I have patients that just come into my office and just cry because they just need to cry. And I'm okay with that because that's what they need. And so, we really focus on kind of that mind, body, and soul for every one of our patients.
Oh, good to know and very interesting.
Yeah.
Good story.
Thank you.
Another one is when you're not at work, what helps you recharge?
Oh, I don't know if I have a minute to recharge. I would say, really getting to spend time with my family. I've got 2 kids and a wonderful husband, and we spend a lot of time at the soccer fields. I'm a soccer mom, quintessential soccer mom, but I love to cook too. So yeah, just when I can find the time to cook, cooking is a lot of my therapy.
Yes.
I love to shop too, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah.
Well, so Amy, guess what?
What?
I have a question.
Oh,
I need to know, in Hollywood, in the world full of duck lips, what is the wildest inspiration photo that has ever been brought to you?
Oh, man.
Because, you can see through their lips sometimes. So
Sometimes the lips round the corner before the body does. I don't know. I've gotten quite a few kind of crazy stuff, but I will say there's not one in particular that really stands out. But I tell people no a lot.
Oh, I know
do.
you do. I hear you.
I tell people no a lot. I can't make people look crazy. And I will tell them no. Now, there are other med spas out there that will make you look however you want. But, we really focus on natural looking, and a look that really kind of fits your face and helps bring out the best of your looks. And sometimes people just need a little bit of education to learn that. So I don't have a crazy one.
Well,
But we do have a joke about looking like Muppets.
Oh.
So we don't do Muppets at our place, But there are med spas that'll make you look like a Muppet. And you remember the Muppet, what I'm talking about? She got the big old lips.
Miss
And those
Piggy.
long
Well,
eyelashes.
yes. I don't know what her name is. She's got the yellow, big old lips. Anyway. Yeah, so Muppets.
Well,
We don't
plus
do
it's brand
Muppets.
recognition. Nobody wants to walk around and say, "Oh, Vixen did it to me."
Hey, you are a walking billboard. That's right.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us. We
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Welcome to Zen and Juice. We're excited to have Amy Davis here with us today, and we're going to talk all things peptides. So this has just really been something that's very well known out in the community right now. People
Right.
talking about peptides all the time. I'm very honored to be able to sell great products with that have great, wonderful peptides in it. But there's a difference between what happens on your skin and what happens internally. So we're going to talk about some of those things today. So let's just get started. How about that?
I love it. Let's do it.
You're amazing. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for coming. Do you want to just spend a minute, tell us who you are, what your business is?
Yeah.
We're not here to sell your business, but we are here to talk about peptides. But tell us about you.
I love it. Well, thank you again for having
Yeah.
me. I'm Amy Davis. I'm the owner of Vixen Wellness and Medical Spa in downtown Rockwall, right on the plaza. We do everything from wellness to aesthetics, so laser skin treatments, peptides, wellness, whatever we can do to help you look and feel better. I've been a nurse for over 20-something years. Had a great experience kind of working throughout the industry in different areas. So I'm glad to now have my business here. I feel like God brought me here to be able to help people in a different way outside of the hospital and really being able to look at the whole person inside and out and helping people optimize their health and feel better. So
Awesome. Well, thank you. So if peptides are brand new to somebody, where do you start? And just start with, what are peptides?
okay, that's a great question. The simple things, right? So peptides are really short chains of amino acids. What science has been able to do is allow us to kind of grab those individual pieces, like a puzzle piece, and those short chains of amino acids that naturally occur in our body either turn something on or turn something off. So a lot of signaling that happens throughout our body. So now we're able to isolate each of those pieces to help our body kind of get better at doing stuff that it either used to do or doesn't do well. So
That's as we get older, right?
yeah.
But, a lot of people are using these now. Why do you think that peptides have become so popular, I guess, in both the medical and the aesthetic space?
Great question. So I really believe that peptides is really where the future of medicine is going. I share with all of my patients that ask me that on a frequent basis, kind of a really goofy analogy here, but go with me. The difference between like a traditional medication or like a pharmaceutical medication, I tell patients, are like taking a can of paint, a big old paint bucket, and throwing it at a target on the wall, right? You're going to hit that target, but you're also going to hit like a bunch of stuff around it. Side effects, going to change other things, right? Mm-hmm. In peptide therapy, I feel it's more like you have a marker in your hand and you walk up to that target and you touch that target, right? Because it's something, peptides are things that naturally occur in your body. We're just helping them a little bit by giving your body a little bit more, triggering those chains to act a little bit better. So we're not adding chemicals necessarily, right? So it's very targeted therapy.
Sure. So there's a lot of specificity with regards to peptides versus, let's say, wide area coverage, as with antibiotics or some other broad spectrum type item.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Understood.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you mentioned how our bodies naturally, how the peptides will naturally hit what our body needs. How does that affect our daily function? How we function daily?
So there's different peptides for different things. There's peptides that will cover, sexual health, weight loss. I think the very first ones that made peptides really, really popular to the general public were tirzepatide and semaglutide. Mounjaro, Ozempic, those are actually peptides. And that's where kind of mainstream medicine really started accepting peptides as a way to get better. People are really wanting to do things in a natural way versus adding chemicals. We have so much chemicals in our life, and so that's kind of what I see, in the future of those peptides. So
Chemicals every day, even in our natural foods. Scary.
True.
Now, have you seen, or what does the literature say with regards to kind of what happens at a cellular level? Do peptides impact the energy or the ADP the cell produces? Or what's been your experience, and what do you tell your patients?
Sure, it can. And, there's hundreds of peptides, okay?
Right.
So really, it just depends on the peptide that we're working with.
Okay.
There's peptides that help with angiogenesis and creating blood flow. BPC 157, one of the most popular, peptides that are out there. It helps bring blood to an area to help heal and bring oxygenation and the nutrients that your body needs to heal itself.
Right.
So it really just depends on the peptide. There are some that help with bodybuilding and energy and mitochondrial function. So it just really depends what the person is looking for their
So
health.
are peptides really focused on prevention or correction?
Kind of both. You
Okay.
can use them for both.
All
You
right.
can use them for both. There's a peptide actually that's out there, thymosin alpha 1, that really helps with cancer prevention and helps.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, really helps with that. There's several other ones that help with hair, skin, and nails, really bringing hydration to your skin and that beautiful glow. We combine that in our office with a lot of the aesthetic treatments that we provide. And a lot of it is going to be combination, therapy, and how you can combine it with other things you do in your life, not only in aesthetics, but, working out, things like that. So,
Awesome.
Everybody wants a quick fix today, right? So what do you tell your patients? I know me too. Like, I'm going to take a pill and I'm going to get better like immediately, right? But what do you tell your patients with regards to how quickly they can start to see an effect after they start peptide therapy?
Again, also depends on the peptide. I know you're going to get sick of me saying that.
That's all right.
Depends on the
Understood.
peptide.
Right.
I'll give you an example. There's a peptide called PT141 that's used for sexual health. Imagine that as like a replacement for Viagra.
Okay.
So it can start working within 30 minutes to an hour.
Sure. So it's more of like a vasodilator then?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You have other peptides that it's going to take a little bit of time to build up in your system.
Right.
And that's, again, sometimes it takes your body a minute to rebuild itself,
Right.
right? And get all the things it needs in place to really support it. So some will take a little bit longer. Could be up to 3 months till you start seeing effects.
Gotcha.
So,
Thanks for that.
yeah.
I was going to ask you, what are the main reasons people use peptides? But I think you've kind of touched on that, but maybe expand that just a little bit.
Yeah, so obviously the most popular one is going to be your weight management, and people know those.
Yeah.
There's also new GLP that's going to be coming out on the market that's in the last stages of the FDA trials, which is retirotype.
Is that the oral one versus the ones that are injectables, or?
This one is injectable.
It is, okay.
Now, we can talk about that in a minute.
Right.
Kind of
All
the
right,
oral
all right.
versus the injection.
I don't want to get you ahead of
'cause-
yourself.
Yeah, no,
so,
that's
okay.
good. That's good.
Right.
So there's ones for gut health. We see a lot of patients that have autoimmune and some gut issues, or just kind of want to regulate their gut health, along with probiotics and prebiotics. There's that sexual wellness. I know we talked about skin, longevity. I personally take one for kind of cognition and thinking, helping with ADD, ADHD.
Oh, I need that one.
Okay.
Remind me to talk to you about that later.
Yeah, I'll sign up for cognition
Yeah.
myself.
I need that
Yeah,
one.
and just like having a family history of Alzheimer's and dementia and things like that, and also having ADD and just trying to help myself think clear. So there's peptides that help support that as well. So really supportive for all aspects of your health, kind of just depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what's the difference between the peptides that are ingestible versus topical versus injectable?
He was going
Is there
for that.
anything,
Yeah.
I was heading here. Is there anything different in terms of the concentrations and their ability to enter the bloodstream and get distributed, or what are your thoughts on that?
Sure. This is a really great question. It's kind of a hot topic,
Okay.
a little controversial. The best method is injection.
Okay.
Okay. We bypass our gut. Sometimes our gut health isn't great. So our absorption through that gut is not fantastic. That even goes with vitamins, right? There are people that have an antigen in their gut that doesn't allow them to absorb certain vitamins. So you're wasting your money taking the vitamins if you're just peeing it out, you know? But you wouldn't know that unless you got, advanced testing to know that. Most people don't. Plus kind of how they are biosupported to withstand the acid in your stomach to get past that to then be absorbed correctly. So the best way is an injection. And those injections are quick and easy. Typically they're through subcutaneous injection in the fat, like with a little baby insulin needle. Some you take weekly, some you take it daily. It just kind of, again, depends
so
on
better
back
for
on
me
the peptide.
for somebody that's needle phobic. The littler the needle, the better.
Yeah,
So good.
It's a tiny.
Good.
You could do it.
Good.
You
All
could
right.
do it.
Thanks.
Awesome. Well, okay, so as a Mary Kay sales director, we have a foundation that is, it has an anti-aging peptide in it.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, talk about.
Okay.
How does a topical peptide work, and does it work? Is it effective?
Yeah. So again, all of these peptides, what makes the difference is really how they're formulated. What is the science behind them? The size of the molecule, things like that, right? I know we combine a lot of the peptides in our practice with a lot of the facial treatments, with our laser treatments and our hair restoration, because some of them do absorb into the skin and are able to pass that barrier. So they're great. It just depends again on the peptide on which one you can kind of use. But it's where the future of medicine is going and the future of wellness is going, just because of how we've been able to learn about the body and be able to isolate those things that just improve.
It's kind of like what you said about your gut health. If your gut is bad, it's going to, when you ingest something, it's going to take differently. Same with your skin.
Right.
If you have
That's
bad dead skin cells on the surface of the skin, it's only going to take what it's going to take. So
and I will say that again, it goes back to the science of each product too. I know Mary Kay has fantastic products, and the science behind it is really well. But certain things need a certain vehicle to get to where it needs to be going, right? It's kind of like the oil and water. You can't mix oil and water.
That's right.
It doesn't work.
We try.
You can shake it up really good and make you think it's working, but it's just not. So that's the other thing behind a lot of these products, is making sure that the science behind them, and you're getting a really good, well-graded product that has scientific kind of backing to it that shows that it's proven to work. Otherwise, you're just wasting your money.
Right.
Now, back to the injectable question. Could or would somebody benefit more from maybe a topical peptide in some cases versus an injectable? Or do you think that full stop on all peptides, the injectable is the way to go?
Oh, gold standard is going to be injectable.
Gotcha.
Because your body's using it.
Got it.
Okay. Topical is good, especially, and there's a peptide called copper.
Okay.
It burns a little bit when you inject it.
Right.
But if you put it in on topically, it's great and it's fantastic, and it can still absorb, but it's absorbing in a lower amount.
Right.
So you don't get the burn necessarily, but you're still getting the benefit. It's just you have to put a little bit on every single day in the same places for it to get. You just get to get higher concentration and get the results a little bit quicker if you're injecting versus topically. It'll be a little bit longer till you're actually starting to see the results, just because of the rate of absorption.
Sure, I've seen copper has some incredible healing properties, even for like muscle regeneration. And I know a lot of functional braces for elbows and knees and what have you have copper in them, and they actually produce a little electric charge, like pulsed electromagnetic field around them to kind of help the person get better from whatever ailment they have.
Copper's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it sure
is.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why it's so expensive.
Right.
As a metal too.
Right. Yep, that's right.
So are there peptides that work together better than individually?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love combination ones.
Like?
So there's there's so many combination ones I love. I really like doing the combinations because you do. There's one we often prescribe, which is called Clo. KLOW, which is the BPC 157, helps with healing. TB 500 helps with inflammation. Has the copper with wound healing, hair, skin, nails, helps with skin and repair. And then the KPV, which helps with gut health. So you're really getting you're getting a full meal deal.
All right.
That's
beautiful.
great. Well, we didn't want you to divulge your secret sauce kind of on our podcast, but I'm wondering from a scientific literature standpoint, what does the data say about the long-term use of peptides?
Well, I will say that all these peptides, and we're continuing to add peptides daily. It is continuing to grow.
Right.
There are peptides that have been around for a long time, like BPC 157, FDA approved. There's a lot of literature about it. Other ones, like the tirzepatide and the semaglutide, there's really good data and a lot of research around it. Again,
Right.
FDA approved. There's other new ones that are continuing to come out that maybe don't have as much data.
Mhm.
And I would warn people to be very safe and cautious with that, and make sure that you're talking to people who know science and that understand how these things work in your body. So you can understand the side effects. I mean, we are messing with our bodies.
Right.
We are messing with the chemistry of our bodies. And it's important to have a practitioner who knows about peptides, who can understand them and help guide you in that. Listen, anybody right now can go purchase peptides off a website. And that, to me, that is scary.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is the purity of these peptides. If they are not done correctly, they can have a lot of impurities or endotoxins, which can cause a lot of bad side effects, or maybe not even work at all,
Right.
And so making sure these peptides are getting sourced from a great place,
Right.
a high quality place, because again, we're dealing with our bodies and our health here, and it's serious. So to answer your question, there's a lot of research on some, there's not enough research on others. So just proceed with caution.
Sure. So people should come and see a professional like you as opposed to getting just a jug of peptides at Costco.
Amazon.
Yes.
Amazon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're ordering
Right,
late at night.
right.
No, I would highly recommend it. And the other thing is making sure that you're in good health, right? There's peptides out there that'll increase your growth factors. Or let's say you have a tumor in your body, right? I'll use BPC 157. If you have a tumor in your body and we're increasing the blood supply to it, we potentially could grow that tumor, so there are risks absolutely to taking these peptides, and people mainly need to understand that and know
Right.
that. And so that's where health practitioners can really, help answer questions, help people understand how these things work, to make sure that they're doing it safely.
Sure. Understood. Thank
That
you.
kind of leads me to, how do you know if you're a good candidate for peptide therapy? Who's a good candidate, who's not?
Well, everybody's a good candidate. For one,
Good. I'm still in. It still happened for me.
everybody's a good candidate for one or another, right? But it doesn't mean you're a good candidate for all of them. I know it at our place. It does not matter. We will do lab work on everybody.
Yeah.
Because we do things very safely. We make sure that, everybody's in good health, or if maybe we can help support them in another way before we get them on peptides. Hormones are a big one, making sure that kind of our hormones are in balance and our body can accept these peptides and use them the way they should instead of in bad ways. Again, we want to make sure that people are healthy and we're supporting the health of it, and not making them worse.
Right.
Nice.
So, with all the information and disinformation that's out there, right?
Yeah.
How do people know, or what should consumers look for in a good versus maybe a questionable peptide?
That's a great question.
I've been working on that all day.
I know you have.
Okay.
I know you have. One, I would say be very, very cautious about purchasing peptides through public websites. Also, cheap does not mean better at all. The endotoxins is really what concerns me in the peptides,
Right.
because you want to do good. You don't want to do harm. And those endotoxins, China doesn't necessarily care about making sure they're a high quality grade
Right.
when you're ingesting them. So, and you want to know what you're ingesting.
Mhm.
So I would consult with a healthcare provider to make sure that the sourcing of those peptides is from a good company. There is a difference between pharmaceutical grade and research grade.
Right.
Now, oftentimes you can get the pharmaceutical ones at a research grade, but that's really where you have to be very careful about the purity of the peptides.
That's good counsel. Thanks
Yeah.
for that.
So we're going to end with this question.
Okay.
Well, unless you have something else you want to share. But if somebody is just watching this and hearing all this, where do they start? What's your first recommendation if they're new to all this and they want to ask some questions? Where do they go? What do they do?
I always recommend patients coming in for a consultation. You know,
So if they're in different city and state,
yeah,
somebody that's a nurse, you're a nurse,
Yeah.
somebody who's doing the blood work,
Yeah.
somebody who's looking at the facts, talk about that a little bit.
they need to find a provider. They need to find a provider that actually does peptides, has been doing peptides. There's people who are peptide certified that actually have gone through advanced training in peptides to learn about it and are really at the forefront of it. I would first start off by finding a good, high quality place that actually helps you and cares for the whole person.
Yeah.
You know, one of our biggest things is I tell people, yes, we are a business, but you know, we're not here to sell you a syringe. We're not here to sell you a peptide.
Right.
We're here to help you achieve a goal, right? And that is what we wholeheartedly believe in, and find a place that it truly cares about helping you and helping you feel better and reach your goals, not necessarily just trying to make a buck.
Well, this has been amazingly helpful, and I'm going to endeavor to use BPC 157 in a sentence.
You've been practicing that in your head.
It's like a tongue twister.
Just kind of talking to people in public, it makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't, because I know that I need to come and see a professional like you
Yeah.
to get on a good program to accomplish my goals. So
That's
thank you
awesome.
very much. This has really been an incredible educational experience.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having
I'm
me.
Tammy Escobedo. That's Zen and Juice today.
We'd like to thank Shenanigans for hosting our network mixer.
Yeah.
And we'd also like to give a big shout out and thanks to the Hub here in Fate for allowing us to film our podcast the first Monday of every month.
And don't forget to join us at our Mixer at Shenanigans on May 25th, Monday at 4:30 to 6:30 p.m.
I'm Tammy Escobedo.
I'm Kim Johnson.
I'm Scott Dodson.
Maya Krause.
And we are
The Network Blender.